Hey, welcome to Giraffe360, second webinar in our webinar series where we focus on the new product developments, what's cool and up and coming, what we are most excited about. This series is really focused on our photographer program, as this is the brand new thing that we started to roll out. So today, the main two topics we have is the new Pro camera that's set to release within the next 30 days and all the updates on the photography program. I'm Mikus, Opelts, CEO and founder. If I didn't introduce myself today to help me with them with the content and make it super useful, I have from the camera team Yanis Baynard joining. Hey Yanis.
Hey, Mikus. Happy to be here. How are you?
I'm good. I hope you're well. Your background looks amazing. You're in our
Yeah,
R&D sector. It looks a bit fake, so actually just
yeah,
color it around, prove that it's the main place.
yes, exactly. Here from R&D and prototyping center. So super excited to talk and give you some insights on the Pro camera.
Before we even jump into the contents, I kind of one of the things I wanted to say off the bat is we are a bit unique that we do most of the R&D and engineering in-house, and we also manufacture all the kits ourselves. So it's actually one quite a big facility where we do all the operations and mostly cover ourselves. And then Samy Jeffries, our CCO, is joining today as well. He was here last week. We get the good reviews on Samy's ability to present the product. So welcome back. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very excited to be here and excited to have Yanis here in the R&D facility to show us some of the new kit. So, yeah.
Amazing. So let's get going. Today the agenda points us. We're gonna start with the industry insights, then gonna jump into the camera tech spec. Let's break down the camera as well as we can today, and then we're gonna go through the media deliverables, what's new, how the previous releases that we announced in the last months has performed. Then Samy gonna go over the photographers program, and essentially we'll finish with the Q&A section. We use Slido, so please start submitting your questions. Go to slido.com and use hashtag Pro Camera. Submit the questions now, and we can answer them at the end once we wrap up with the webinar content. So a quick recap from our first webinar that we did a bit monthly ago. The baby boomers have been the leading home buyers for decades now, but the industry is changing. Already last year, first time in a long period of history, the millennials become the biggest home buyer category in the USA. That signals consumer change in the market, and we can say that this change is coming with the announcement that real estate is going digital. Real estate media is becoming vital because of the consumer pattern change. Yet we see less than 30% of real estate agents today actively invest in media content. Then that can be highlighted by this fact. Today, when we look across the listings in America, 70% of agents are hired solely to do photography. There's no additional media content being produced. But there's a stark difference from what buyers expect already today and what market provides. Today, 74% of buyers wants to see video tours. 67% expect floor plans to be added to the listings, and almost 60% expect virtual tours. Then when we look on where the market is actually today, then only 9% of listings feature video, 16% has floor plan, and less than 10% has virtual tours. So a stark difference, mammoth mountain to climb, but it's a quite significant problem. But hence, it's also an opportunity for us to provide that change and deliver a solution that enables to meet the customer demands. So one of the fundamental things that needs to start to happen is to shift the conversation that the real estate presentation goes away from solely photography to the wider range of real estate media. And hence the Giraffe platform comes in. The Giraffe platform is built as an integrated platform that covers the three fundamental aspects of real estate presentation and marketing. We have a camera that captures the data. we've been running on our Gen 4 camera. We named it GoCam, and today we'll be sharing the ProCam tech spec and how the ProCam is coming together. Then the second big part of our product is the content studio that sits on top of a powerful AI systems where all the real estate media gets produced and rendered, from still photographies to 3D tours to point clouds to floor planning and other content solution. And last but not least is the Spotlight platform. Spotlight is a marketing tool that we are building to then utilize all the contents and automate real estate marketing. So that I think that's good for the intro to recap where the industry is, where the Giraffe is. I think we can now go to the what's kind of what's the exciting next step, and let's spend some time to talk about the Pro Camera. On a high level, the Pro Camera is said to be extremely powerful tool that from a single scan can generate extremely high range of contents. It creates photos, floor plans, 3D tours, point clouds, social media posts, Gaussian splat videos. So the camera is the input device for lots of media creation. But Yanis, maybe I should now bring you in, and before we go into the tech spec, do you want to share the core principles how we have been designing and working on the on our Pro Camera kit?
Yeah, sure. I think it's you already covered it pretty nicely on the industry highlights and where things are going. So I think it's nice to even more stress it and make a point that what the Giraffe 360 is all about. For example, from the very beginning, our goal has always been to create this one integrated platform for a range of real estate media content, right? So for the GoCam, we brought together photos, virtual tours, floor plans in this one package together with the GoCam.
Yeah.
And that worked pretty well, right? For example, last year alone, we see that users did 200K listings just last year alone. So we see that even though GoCam is amazing and it's still relevant and does a good job, we want to see what we can do next, right, for the future. So we see that there is a shift in industry, which we call it digital first real estate journey. This is our goal, and we see that we actually need to step up and bring a new product that can handle this kind of demand. And what we're excited about is this new Pro Camera that can deliver new immersive media formats that physically was not possible with the current GoCam. So I want to stress out that the Pro version is not necessarily better or just this one level higher specs. It's simply a different camera which comes together with these key elements that we're going to talk about today. And these elements are the new LiDAR, the new powerhouse of the point cloud that it can capture. We're going to talk about auto high tripod, the scan new, and this new capture flow. All these things combined is what we call Giraffe PRO Camera that is focusing. So we're switching our kind of mindset from where before, for example, we were focusing on capturing space by having just one scan per room, right? And it's a good and it's an amazing kind of technology that can deliver this. So for the Pro range, we're shifting slightly our focus towards dense data capture, and you'll see how this dense and high quality data can deliver amazing new opportunities and products that are basically why we are here today, that we want to show what it is.
Yeah, and there is a strong narrative. I think so lots of that development has been motivated by how well the AI has been developing over the last couple of years, and the more data, higher quality data leads to better products. That algorithm seems to be very on point. But maybe let's switch gears and jump into the tech spec for the new kit. Samy, do you want to take us through the core tech spec from the Pro Camera?
Yeah, 100%. Happy to do so. So the Pro camera uses a 16mm equivalent wide-angle lens with a 20.3 megapixel output. All of this is built around a Sony Exmor 1-inch CMOS sensor, which is the same sensor class that you'd find in high-end complex DSLRs. And what this essentially means is our image capture technology, alongside all of the kind of LiDAR and spatial data, is professional grade. So you're getting all of that power from a photography perspective and an image capture perspective, alongside all of the LiDAR improvements. Now, on that LiDAR side, Yanis and the team have designed, tested, and built a brand new LiDAR 2.0. It comes with a largely increased sample rate, which Yanis will run through the benefits of shortly after this. But we are looking basically at an improved range, higher accuracy, and a lot more spatial data to work with, which is essentially the key for acting as the power behind the Gaussian splat and those immersive outputs, which we'll show a little bit later in the presentation. From an output perspective, we're looking at high resolution photography with a default 5K res, auto-rendered anti-compliant floor plans, and the cinematic G-Splat 3D content with all of the immersive virtual tour, video, and point cloud content pieces. All of this comes from that same single scan function. The camera internally can store up to a terabyte of data. And from a battery perspective, we're looking at over 100 double height scans, which seems strange to say, right? That's a brand new thing, but over 100 double height scans on a single charge. All of this comes in a unit which weighs under 4 pounds, so super portable, compact, and easy to take from appointment to appointment. It's a hell of a lot of tech in a sub 4 pound package. So Yanis, there I've just done a bit of an information dump for listeners. So maybe I can hand over to you to maybe highlight some of the key elements and what these actually mean for the ProCam users.
Yeah, of course. I think if I may, I would like to highlight one of the key aspects that I want to focus our attention for a moment is this new LiDAR 2.0. Here you can see the comparison between LiDAR 1.0, which is our current GoCam LiDAR, and the resolution of the scan, and on the right, the new Pro camera kind of scan. Same location, just the difference is that with the Pro camera, we have achieved much higher sample capture rate, which gives us much more dense point cloud. And as you can see, the difference is amazing, right? And you'll see the reason behind it, what the value it brings, because suddenly, both from the media perspective and also from our AI flow perspective, we can create the format, kind of immersive formats that we were able to do before, right? And why this matters, right? Why this the higher quality data matters? Why the sample rate and density matters? Well, the high quality deliverables in the end don't happen by accident, right? They're built on layers of good data. And our new LiDAR 2.0 is built for capturing much more data. And it is more complex, and in general, more complex deliverables require more advanced tech, which Pro camera basically is. And this higher density also allows our AI-driven post-processing to work faster and better. And as a result, we can deliver higher density kind of assets, for example, accurate ANSI standard floor plans, spatially correct 3D tours, precise merge point cloud data, and the G-Splat videos, which we're going to talk about later. This term G-Splat is a bit unfamiliar for most of you or some of you, but you'll see why it's a pretty exciting new immersive format that is in core of the Pro camera range that this camera is able to deliver. So when it comes to these sample rates, right? Here you can see a comparison between the Pro camera and our current GoCam. So we're talking about from current 30K sample rate towards up to 750. Just to mention, the similar industry standard is on average maybe 100. So as you can see, for this kind of real estate media content creation product, it's pretty significant step up in general in terms of what this kind of device can achieve. And if we talk about accuracy, we're still on pair and above the kind of the accuracy we can achieve through this kind of camera.
Nice. And I think if I can ask you on that LiDAR development, we built the LiDAR 1.0 ourselves. Previously, we used the third-party supplier. As many parts we have over the years have brought in-house and have developed in-house. I will not ask why we did that. I think it's a big question, but what do you think? Do you have a good answer on what are the benefits from us developing our own LiDAR? And yeah, what are the benefits from us doing it ourselves instead of using third-party solutions?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I see immediately a couple of things that are beneficial as a company-wide, for sure. One is that this allows us to learn a lot more about this technology itself, because we built it. We know inside outs of it. We know what it's capable, and we also can see how can improve it, because we have to build it ourselves. This also has made it that we have gathered brilliant minds that are actually capable of handling such technology and create it from scratch. So we that's one kind of thing that comes to my mind. Another one is that we are fast in iterating and changing it or adapting it and improving it, because we are in control of this process instead of third party that might take slower or be off limits in some kind of adaptation part.
Mm-hmm. I think that's very well said. But let's switch gears. Let's talk about the auto HUD tripod. That's a big, huge addition to the Pro camera. It's probably first of its kind, and it probably our tripod system requires webinar on its own. But let's give it the justice in like a 1 or 2 minute overview of it. Yanis, what do you think is the key on the tripod, and why we ended up going down this route?
So the unique thing about the tripod is that it's motorized. It moves itself, as you can see in the picture. I have it right here as well. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but
Yeah,
it's pretty light. It's almost the same form factor, but with integrated battery motor, and it's connected to the camera through the Bluetooth. So what it allows to do is automatically capture multiple scans in multiple heights at the same time, right? Because as I said before, this gives us more data to work with. This means more angles, more light data, and better depth coverage, which is needed to have these spatially accurate environments that we want to capture. Because in general, yes, you could capture in multiple heights with a regular tripod, but you would lose the precision, and it would also be tedious. Because we in general believe that every mechanical task eventually that is done by a professional user, which is repetitive, should eventually be done by a system itself through some kind of automation or robotization. So the user instead could focus on more important things and aspects like creativity, capture process, capture flow. So this is the thought behind the auto HUD tripod in essence, in the core essence, what it does. And it's compatible with the camera like you see here.
Yeah. And cumulatively, we probably Samy also has spent now hours on putting tripod on up and down, like especially for regular photography, you want to go down to be more in the level of objects in the room, and then for the outside shots you go up. So I think there's been we cumulatively spent hours just on manual tripods, sitting up and down, moving everything, and then. I think just the fact that we can now automate that thing just makes that day-to-day scanning more enjoyable. I think just one tedious task to get rid of. But I think the goal of that was the data volume, higher data volume it was the first driver. And importantly, the Pro camera comes with a new capture flow. Scan view as something we never had before, because first iterations of Giraffe was always built with the concept in mind that the user just presses the button and allows system to work. There was a concept of less information to kind of not to get distract people, and we are flipping the script from this approach and putting users more in charge of the scanning process, and that drives many values in the afterwards. But Yanis, can you elaborate on the new scan view, how that's going to work, and then Samy on the capture flow?
Yeah, sure. So as you can see here, what the scan view essentially is, it's like a live visual map of your scans during your capture. So whenever you make a scan, it will show up on this scan view from the top-down view. And it's great because now instead of this black box capture approach, you can actually see what you're doing in the property. And this is beneficial because it is a visual guidance to see how much coverage, how much you have scanned so far, if you have scanned all the rooms, is everything aligned correctly. You can organize the scans among the layers, among the floors, and also quickly have a panorama preview and more. And so, yes, it is different. It might for some seem very even complex, but actually the idea is to give the clarity and control back to the user. And also, we actually want to show more our technology, how it works, and find a way to communicate with the user what are the limitations also, and what are the capture expected flows, and how does what are the rules basically. So multiple benefits actually, and we're excited to go this route in general. Yeah, and maybe Samy, you can highlight a little bit how would you capture the property by using also this scan view.
Yeah, 100%. And I think for myself and any existing customers who are used to kind of using the GoCam, this is a really clear divergence in path when we look at the capture process. And as we've already mentioned, a big part of that is around what data are we capturing, what volume of data can we get from this new process. And so, as you very nicely said there, Yanis, the idea is to provide an alternative to the black box scanning experience, right? Which is, you want to get in and out of the property in a short, a time frames period, and you want to collect those traditional marketing assets. This new scan view function and the new flow with the new camera is kind of dedicated into create an experience which puts control into the hands of the user and captures significantly more data. So the new process essentially boils down to scans being taken in multiple locations or positions per place. For the user, you still just take the tripod and camera and place it at location, and then the camera and auto height tripod then take over with the scan process. We're going to automatically capture image and spatial data across multiple heights to support that immersive content delivery and the Gaussian splat data capture. Once you've scanned, as we can see a preview of on screen here, we're going to see a real-time 2D visualization of the space. This is where you as a user can immediately spot what's been covered, what might need realigning, and where an extra scan might be needed for additional coverage. Rather than reviewing later and realizing something missing, you're getting that feedback instantly while you as a user, as a professional user, are still on site. So the shift really is about data capture, but also putting the user in control. You're going to decide the scanned entity, what gets captured, and ultimately you therefore have control over the output for your customer. Once you've completed your scan and you finish the property, you would just upload as usual using the camera's inbuilt Wi-Fi, and then our platform will then take care of the amalgamation of all of that complex data and the content rendering, and then deliver that content to yourself and your customer ready and kind of pre-rendered and processed. So yeah, hopefully I've not butchered the new process there, Yanis.
I just wanted to add from one of the benefits is that at the end of the day, putting more emphasis on scanning will allow faster rendering. So we see how the rendering time's going down. We aim to get rendering times down for all the contents, whether it's floor plan to 3D, to a couple of hours later this year. And so it's an important input to have a correct data to then be able then to render everything in a very speedy manner, and to maybe then summarize what we just went to kind of some of the key important parts of the tech spec, but I wanna tag it back to how I opened the webinar today. That at the end of the day, it's not a cool tech spec just to do some fancy tasks. It's what the modern buyer expects, and it tries on this promise to build a one integrated system that can input the data, feed to the AI, that then enables the wide range of media content production, and that's the end goal for the kit. But that's on the camera. Let's switch gears then. Camera captures the data. We move the content studio. Everything gets rendered to the AI and then meets the user's eye, where users can edit. I think it will be worthwhile to then go through the core new contents, which will be possible then with the Pro camera. One is the generation of the full 3D model, and we are using technology we will be referred today a few times, Gaussian splats. Gaussian splatting enables us to create this photorealistic 3D model from a place, and LiDAR 2.0, the dense scans is the opener for all this possibility, together with the auto hunt tripods. Then we use this core model to then one of the new contents that will be possible from the Pro camera is the video rendering. And video is one of the key contents in today's media, and it's very expensive content, very hard to produce, and we are betting on our ability to recreate a full 3D environment, so a user doesn't require filming. So you don't have to go there with a filming crew, set up the lights, use different cameras, maybe different setups, but we can have this 3D model as an underlying input, and then we can render multitudes of different contents. And so we're very excited about specifically how then different effects can be created. In this example, you see the drone fly through effect, which is it's not the drone fly through. If somebody thought that way, it's an effect from the 3D model, how it renders. And we are expecting this to perform extremely well on social media. Social media content is vital for today's real estate communication, and we expect high engagement rates on these 3D Gaussian splat videos. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, how these videos can be rendered. But I hope this kind of sets the scene of how, without filming, we can create a high quality production looking videos at the friction of cost, literally. Then one of the other aspects, we touched upon this in the last webinar, but I wanted to a bit go one more over the topic with more detail, is how already our AI renderings for image quality has improved between the Gen 2 quality to Gen 3 for the AI renderings for the images. On the one side, you can see the old editing, and on the other side, you see the new pictures. And maybe I will Samy bring you in. You can elaborate on, I think what we now see from a live data from our Photographer Pro users is that there is bigger cohort of photographers that are comfortable to fully switch the photography creation workflow to the Giraffe. In our previous edition, we received lots of comments on the photo quality, to make it brighter, to make it more flamboyant style images. And now when we see from a live client data, it seems like this generation that we released earlier this year is really kind of really working for our Pro users, and it's actually meets the quality requirements, and more clients are switching their photography setup fully to run it on Giraffe 360. Do you want to share some data, as you daily speak with our photographers, and maybe you can share some anecdotes?
Of course, yeah. I think you can see quite clearly the stark contrast between kind of the second gen image AI model and the new gen model. And I think there's a lot of benefits that kind of were baked into the platform always, things like the privatization, so blurring faces, removing registration plates of vehicles. But where we kind of maybe fell short a little bit for the Pro user is things like the color cast correction, the exposure, kind of the views through windows, all that type of stuff. And so, as you mentioned earlier, with Yanis in the team, we do so much in-house from a camera and manufacturing and kind of development perspective there. We also have a huge team working on the AI models. And so, working in conjunction with our kind of customer-facing teams and our feedback engine, we were able to kind of understand what Pro users want to see in photography. And so from there, we've really been able to work on things like the window masking, things on the color casts, the brightness, the contrast, the saturation, white balance, all of the things that make an image look like they were captured by a pro user, we've been able to amalgamate into the AI model. And yes, Mikus, as you mentioned, the feedback from photographers and from users in general has been massively, massively uplifting. And we're seeing that it's resonating well. And I think we are continuing to upgrade and give that control to the end user to kind of produce content in the way that their customers expect to see it.
Yeah. And this is the one slide summary of how the image editing process goes. Every picture actually goes through more than 20 steps in different AI rendering steps. To last week, average picture rendering time took 3 hours. That's from the time the pictures are uploaded to the time it gets delivered back. And we have a team of professionals in two time zones, so we are covering around the clock almost coverage, and so we have a professionals team that overlook pictures and then look whether there's defects, whether something needs to be re-edited, and we have that already baked in the system, and that happens in those 3 hour windows. When we look on the data, we do hundreds of thousands of images, and so roughly 6% requires some kind of a manual retouch, where our professional then improves the picture before it gets uploaded to the system. But yeah, the AI models that the every image goes through ranges from sky masking to camera masking, and then all the privacy, and then image enhancements. So there's lots of I don't know if tampering is a good word to use, but, to make these images look what market expects from the image quality. And from the switching gears, then from the other announcements we made earlier this month is our floor plans have had big updates. We are now delivering ANSI standard floor plans, which is appraiser grade accuracy. So just by moving through the property according to Giraffe requirements with no specific knowledge on floor planning, you can achieve the floor plans that are done in the standard and that are accurate and that are usable. And it's a big upgrade in our floor planning system. And just to touch upon, not to miss that we still do also 3D tours. It's not just photography, videos, and floor plans, but our virtual tours remains, or 3D tours remain smooth with high resolution, very crisp. And we spend lots of time in the same way as I showed the AI models that edit pictures. We have very similar workflow that edit the underlying panoramas. So the point clouds and the future Gaussian splat technology enables the immersiveness of these 3D tours, but the panorama editing and our image editing knowledge capability is the one that drives the high quality tours that you see here, that the windows are not overexposed, that you can see actually very clearly what's outside, and it's I think it's a very successful blend between the resolution and the just image quality of a 3D tour and the immersiveness. But we keep pushing the needle on both of these attires. So last on our software side, we released a bit more than 2 weeks ago Spotlight, our marketing automation, to even move the ball further. We started that photography is not the one most important content, but today the market requires a wide range of real estate media. Now, when we are producing all this media, we want to go a step further and automate lots of marketing communication, how content gets distributed through social media, how you can run email marketing campaigns, and give even more tools in hands of our pro users that they can provide to the real estate agent. And Samy, maybe you want to actually switch to our dashboard and show the live demo of how the Spotlight V1 looks, the website creator and the Spark creator, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And I think as you put there, Mikus, the job now doesn't just end at sharing the kind of the core assets with the agent. The agent now has a lot of power that they can achieve with the Giraffe 360 content studio after the photographer has delivered the assets to the agent, because this is only V1, this is beta, this is early days. But the plan of Listing Spotlight is to be able to automate performance marketing, which is probably be one of the most complex things an agent has to do on a day-to-day basis, right? You've got to be a salesperson as well as as a marketer. So yeah, we've released the first version, and Listing Spotlight comes in beta with Listing Spotlight, Spark Generator, as well as Property Website. So here inside the Content Studio, you can see our core asset. So the floor plans, the virtual tours, those beautiful still images and video. And all an agent would need to do is hit Listing Spotlight. From here, we can see different elements of the property lifecycle. So from coming soon all the way through to sold. And we see a series of sparks automatically generated with the agent's kind of asset color. So, the color that they use inside their logo, their preferred fonts, etc., etc. And what these sparks are automated pieces of content ready to post across social media, email, and even print. So let's just take a very brief example. I've just sold a home, well done me. And I want to do an Instagram story to my local community saying, this property, I've just listed it on the market, it's gone. So what I would do is I would go into Listing Spotlight and then go and check out the sparks that are automatically generated for me. I've got one ready built for sold. Go in, check, change any text that I would like to, all customizable, check out the images that are automatically selected and ranked. And I go, cool, I'm happy with this, ready to hit my Instagram story. Once I'm ready, I hit save and share. Now the system's automatically going to generate a QR code. With my mobile phone, I scan that QR code. It's going to take me straight into Instagram, ready to post the story, as well as giving me some text that I can use if I want to do it as a post. So we've got that property description automatically generated from all of the content that we capture on site. So for an agent, that very complex process of what do I post, how do I create it, has now been simplified. And this is V1, and I'm so excited to see what comes in Spark Generation as well as all of the follow-up kind of marketing content pieces.
From the product data, I can add that the product was released 2 weeks ago, so we have more than 2% of listings now. The Spotlight has been tried, and we are generating hundreds of marketing automation steps now on a weekly basis. So there is some good pickup, and there's already some star users that are starting to be make this as their kind of as their day-to-day part of their listing marketing activity. So yeah, and Spotlight is huge product, and we are expecting to release consistent product updates, and so this is the V1.
Yeah. And alongside the kind of Listing Spotlight Spark Generator, which we showed, we also have the property website, right? So you don't need to go into any traditional tools, build websites. You don't need to understand hosting, any of that. We take, again, the data captured on site by you, and we generate a property website. Again, this is V1 beta. We're going to start out with a brief preview, again, all customizable, of some of the key elements of the property, working between the image data and the panoramic data, giving you kind of a bit of a preview and a view of the space. And the user can then go straight in and get a full view. So we've got the gallery with all of our images. We've got the data that the agent can input, as well as the data which we've collected. So number of bathrooms, number of floors, all very tedious tasks, now all automated with Giraffe. The property description, and then access directly to the immersive content pieces. So as an example, the virtual tour, information around the floor plans and location of the property, and the ability, oh, there's my shiny head, and the ability for end users, so buyers or tenants, to get straight in touch. And you can actually be in the position where you're building a way for your agent to generate inquiries off the back of your scanning process. So very, very excited to see where this goes. And as you mentioned, Mikus, lots of sparks being generated currently, lots of websites, and also lots of great questions and feature requests coming in from clients. So very excited to see how this develops further.
Great. And I think kind of to summarize the Spotlight addition to our product category, it's we're not just capturing a listing, we are enabling an entire marketing strategy for the real estate agent. So that's the full range of Giraffe integrated system, from the capture to marketing automation, which we want to provide value. And let's switch gears now, Samy. Let's go through the photographer program, and I see we have questions rolling in. So let's spend some 5 to 7 minutes on the photographer program. Take us through, and then let's switch gears. Let's go into the questions from the audience.
Yeah, 100% happy to do so. So the photography program isn't just about us providing a camera subscription and an editing subscription. It's about moving into the space of a partnership, kind of built around growth, the photographer's territory, and backing photographers to build something long term in partnership with Giraffe360. And so a part of this is our commitment to momentum. So Giraffe360 will be releasing product updates every 30 days. As you can see in these webinars, there's lots coming out, but this could be anything from new features to performance improvements to sharper visuals. But we are committed that photographers will always be working with the best version of Giraffe360's tech. The next stage of the partnership is a little bit deeper. So each camera will give the photographer access to 2 dedicated zip codes. And in each one, there will be only one official Giraffe360 photographer. And what that means is as we release new features, new content types, and they're becoming seen generally across the market, all of the leads generated from that will come to the photographer that owns that zip code. And this comes with 12 months of official representation as a part of the subscription. So you're not just using our tech, you're representing the brand and building the brand with Giraffe360 together in your area. And what we're looking for when we kind of talk about photographers to join this program, we're looking for people who stay active, who capture properties. We're looking for people who want to test new stuff, who don't want to just be providing the status quo to the market, but actually want to be at the forefront of kind of digitizing that real estate journey for agents and for buyers and for letters. And we want you to be a part of building something. And in return for all of that, we will give you the tools, the support, the leads, the platform to grow the business alongside Giraffe360. And so what this looks like from a commercial perspective. So alongside the release of the Pro Camera, we're releasing a test offer for users to try Giraffe360. And we're doing this at a price point of $123 per month, which includes 5 free listing credits. This offer is essentially giving you a short-term commitment to get used to the product and to see if it works for you and your business, but also direct access to the front line and jump the front of the queue for the new camera release, as well as a batch of projects. So from day one, you can get going and start turning that $123 a month and that test into actual revenue for your business. So the idea is to amalgamate the territory, the brand, our backing, and try to help photographers really build something powerful in their area.
Amazing. Thank you, Samy, for that. And I kind of want to probably just emphasize that we created this test offer so people who are curious about our pro release can be the first ones to receive it, to test it out, decide if it works for you, and if it is as amazing as Yanis just showed. If not, you can send it back and write your review to Samy. But if it holds the live test, then you can switch to become our partner, and we can hope build a long-lasting relationship. I think that covers from the key things we wanted to go through from today's contents. Let's switch to the questions from the audience. Samy, do you have the questions in front of you?
Yeah, I'd love to. So first question we have here, how much extra time does it take to scan on site compared to the current model of camera? And I guess Yanis can help us out with this one.
Yeah, I think I can take this one. So current GoCam takes around 60 seconds, right, per scan. With a double scan, at the moment, we see it being roughly 90 seconds. So it's not doubled when it comes to double scan, but yes, it will be longer. And we want to emphasize it. Yes, it will take you slightly longer per property, but you get the properties back processed faster, and you get more rich data package with it. So the overall calculations or math is multitudes of better because the trade-off is there, but we see much more benefit of gathering that data. Of course, we suggest that you take a bit more scans, and there will be another thing that user is in control is the scan density. We will allow to adjust the density individually to some degree, which also will slightly speed up the process or decrease it depending on your expected or quality for these Gaussian splat videos.
Brilliant. So to summarize there, Yanis, we're looking at maybe a 20-30% increase in the scan time for each individual scan, but done at multiple heights. And also we're looking at multiple scans in each space as opposed to the traditional black box model of one scan as central as possible. But in exchange for that, we're getting a lot more data and a lot more property content potential off the back of it.
Exactly.
Perfect. So next question, if I need to take more scans for it to work, what does that mean for my scan limit? Will pro users have a higher scan limit per property?
I think I need to answer that. Yes, Samy?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. No, great question. Yes. No, the price per project will stay the same. So there's no price increase with the Pro as it is a fundamentally different system, and we wanted to keep everything on the current price. So the ruling around the 40 scan limit will change for the Pro, but the key information is that the cost per project and everything how we bundle and price the product, there's no cost increase with the Pro camera.
And the question is around the scan limit, right? So currently we have a scan limit project by project. So will pro users having to take more scans, will there be a higher limit for them so they're not being billed for multiple projects when they're...
Correct. Yes, the limit will change. So that rule will change. It will no longer be stipulated like that, and we will roll out that update in the coming time.
Great. So next question. I hope we've covered this. This is one of the earlier questions in the presentation. But what makes this pro? And I think anybody could take this question.
What makes it pro? Okay, yeah. Who wants to go?
I guess I can jump in, right? It's a good question, I would say. First of all, we also were curious, and we had this bunch of ideation how to name it. I think there are two answers to this. One is that also, in a nice way. Okay, let me start with the second reason first. Second one is we really went through is the technology behind it, right? Being four corners of this Pro camera. One being the new improved LiDAR, which is significantly more powerful. Second being auto height tripod, and third, the scan view. And the fourth one is the new capture process. All these four things combined is what makes it Pro, being it's more capable, it's more advanced, and it can deliver something that the current GoCam, even though excellent camera, simply cannot do due to the technology jump. Mm-hmm. The other part that I wanted to actually to start with, why I think it's Pro, is because it also hints in a way the type of user we think this is excellent for, which is this professional user, photographer who is more tech savvy and has a higher requirements and is eager to get a more higher quality outputs and want to build its business on a richer data packages. So that would be kind of my take on why is it Pro.
Yeah, I want to double click on what you said, Jan. There, our base model was designed with the simplicity was the core driver. Simple, press a button, achieve the results, quick operations. The Pro, as you said, hints there's more to do in the capture process and how to achieve the best outcomes. So there's more curiosity, more flexibility, more opportunities that will come with the Pro system, and thus we gonna have the two separate workflows: the base workflow, which is built around speed, and the Pro workflow. Thus, we expect to be more fitted for the curious user who wants to achieve the best scanning outputs, and that's where the Pro camera comes in.
Great. Okay, so the next question, how does our system differ from competitors' systems that are available out there on the market?
I think so many ways how to answer it. I think maybe I can start from the headlines is the range at the integration. So, and we have never been extremely focused on a single content. To give you an example, typical systems that we see today in the market is you either have a photography solution, either floor planning solution, or a 3D capture solution. And then companies get that first product right, and then they start to build some kind of added features on top of that workflow. But that mindset comes with its limitations that we then see if 3D scanning product starts to do floor plans and they're actually very manual. The tech is not there, and inaccuracies slip in, or the vice versa. Floor planning solutions starts to deliver images. For us, it always was about real estate media, and hence our development has been vaster. From we today run 15 machine learning models that focus on separate aspects of the content production. So photography has its own. Actually, on the picture, you see the photography always have had its own button for the sole fact that just having a screen grab from panorama is not the optimal way how to achieve the highest quality photography, even though we also have that function. And that can be said about each of the content categories. So now with the Gaussian splats, we're really honing in on how to produce the videos, and so we're looking on integrated system that delivers rich media and treats each media equally. Each media has its place. You need your photography to get the first impression, floor plan, then you need videos for the Instagram. So I think that's the fundamental difference. And then when we look on the tech specs and how it actually performs, we can then start to compare these apples to apples. But as a system on its range and what we could deliver, especially if we now put even marketing automation on top, I think there's not a comparable system in how many areas we cover and how well we do that. Is that a decent answer, or somebody wants to throw something else in?
I think you've got it in there. I think that our system is generating content, and the system is generated specifically for each piece of that content, rather than being full amalgamation piece. It's a case of how is the system specialized, how is the hardware specialized for each of those kind of elements of the user experience and the way in which individuals are interacting with property marketing content. So I think you did it justice there, Mikus. And yeah.
But it's important that it's an integrated system, because we were skeptical about the future where you need 5 different tools you need that are not purpose built, that becomes clumsy. Then there are 10 different softwares, image editing, floor plan building. It's a very gruesome workflow. I lived in that workflow, and there's lots of tedious tasks, and by integrating them, we can then drive value between the contents, and we can then better achieve these marketing solutions at the end. So there is a strong benefit from one integrated system, but we are not taking any part lightly. Like, we're photography delivery, video delivery, all these deliveries are fundamentally important.
Brilliant. So next question, does this mean that some kind of 3D view of the property will be coming, I guess, like we see with competitors?
Most likely. I think we already have the underlying, like a full point cloud. You can download the point cloud is the file. We are now really focused on how the video renders. I've been very obsessed with the 3D experiences. We have very cool internal demos, but they're not at the consumer release level yet. Where we see immediate value is how that video looks on Instagram wall, and their 3D content is actually meets less of the end user size. So I think we're really emphasizing right now using the 3D content to create video content is the clumsy answer to the question. But the underlying 3D, it's and I think we can tease that there will be some impressive 3D solutions in the future. But on the immediate releases, when we look on the summer, we're really focused on that video and how that video performs.
Perfect. Next up, will the drone content be auto-generated, or can the user control the angles used for the footage?
Oh, that's for the video, because I thought it's literally about the drone is the question. So the meme is giraffe don't fly. So there's no real drones with the giraffe system today. But who wants to take the video question? I can do it, but if somebody wants,
go ahead, Mikus.
Yeah, it will be first auto-generated, but then you can do the edits as it is with every content. We have the editing. Our principle how we build a solution is that you first have auto settings, how all the contents are generated, floor plans, photography, videos. but then each content has its own editor. So user actually then has tons of flexibility to change the path or do the updates as they want. I think that's something we've learned over the years. Is people's taste is very subjective. There's no objective way how to say what's a good photography, what's a good video. Like it's a very subjective product. So even though we try to automate and streamline as much as we can, but then the content studio, hence yields the name content studio. We think people want to be individualistic. There will be always individual requirements, individual changes, and so it's an important aspect of the product, and that sits in that content studio. In ideal world, we would want to render all the contents with no then requirement for users to interact, but I don't think that will going to happen just because of the creative nature of human beings.
Yeah, brilliant. So to kind of summarize your answer there, initially the 3D content, the video content will be automatically generated based on kind of predefined paths. But in the future, we are looking to see how we can provide that element of control to the end user and to give them a little bit more creativity in the outputs that they're generating.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. So next up, where are we? Great. So do we have a time frame for when the photographer's program will reach Europe?
Not yet, TBD. But we wanted to start in the US, and we'll, as soon as we're ready to go further, we will do that. And it's good to start receiving the European questions. And today we have in Europe, I think more than 30 countries active. We are biggest media producer in the UK for the real estate media. We produce more than 100,000 listings in the UK a year, and so and then some other markets for us is very active. So we would want to expand the photographer program when the time is right, but no date set yet.
Brilliant. The next question is the $123 for new users or on top of the current cost for existing users? And I think I can quite happily take this one. So as we mentioned earlier, there's no distinct costing difference between the two cameras. It's all about which workflow works best for each client and what is the desired output. And as Yanis put earlier, there is a different workflow. It comes with some additional kind of complexity and hence it being kind of centered around the pro user. But for our existing customers who want that data set and are willing to kind of change their workflow and put in the work that's required to get that data set out and that additional content types, we're more than happy to have a discussion, kind of assess the workflow and work with our existing customers with the Pro Camera as well. So by no means is this only dedicated for new clients. It's across the board for people who need that new data types. Cool.
And we're coming up on time, but my suggestion is I think we have quite a few still questions. Let's go through them. If it takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it takes, if people need to disconnect, we'll send a recording afterwards. But let's go through the questions, the ones we have. Let's not cut it short.
Cool. So do we still get scan view on Gen 4 or do we have to get Pro for it? Yeah, go ahead, Yanis, I guess.
So what was the question? Can you repeat?
Do we get scan view on the Gen 4, so the Go Cam, or do we have to get a Pro Camera in order to get access to the scan view functionality?
Right. At the moment, the scan view is exclusive for Pro Camera only.
Brilliant. Thank you, Yanis. More questions around customization options inside the drone style videos. So the first is, can rooms be removed from the drone style videos? And straight after that, we have, can you decide which rooms are shown first for the drone style shots?
Yeah, I think that's a perfect question. Let's set up the next webinar. Let's go through how the drone how the drone product works and what are the other videos. So instead of me giving a quick snippet, let us show how that product gonna work and let us break it down in its full details as there's quite a few stuff to unpack.
Great. Next up, will the G-splat capture flow be available right at launch, or is kind of the Gaussian splatting come in at a later date?
It's right at the launch. It's the Pro Camera comes with the G-splat capture flow. It's all very related, and it all works together.
Brilliant. Okay. So next question, are we going to get the ability to do more than 36 scans or images in a single project? So yes, as we kind of mentioned earlier, with the Pro Camera, there is a requirement to do more scans per location. So with that, we will be reviewing kind of the volume associated to a single project and those limits. Can we get the images back at 6,000 pixels on the long side? So we can edit the resolution of images directly inside the Content Studio, and that's fully customizable for customers. So yes, customers can make changes to the resolution associated. We just default at that 5K mark. Next question, can I switch between a Pro camera and a Go camera depending on the type of job that I am capturing? So Yanis, I'll let you take this one.
I'm not sure I fully understand the question. I guess it could be interpreted, but maybe just to clarify, with a Go camera, you can still use it as before. It has the current capture flow, and the Pro camera has its own capture flow, and you can use it as well. So any property can be captured with either cameras, depending on what your needs are, I guess. But one camera cannot do the other cameras assigned or dedicated capture flow, if that makes sense.
And probably from the commercial perspective, then user will require two cameras and
exactly
and two cameras. I guess we haven't looked into whether how does that work with the account, with the processings, and if a single user wants to use one processing account but two different cameras, if that becomes a question, we can look into it.
Brilliant. And I guess what these questions do is they give us a lot of food for thought, right? So we can see that there's users out there that see the benefit of both scanning processes. Like for some use cases, I'm going to want to go and get in there and I'm happy to do all of that. But for some use cases, I might need a little bit less data. So it's really good for us to kind of hear this type of feedback. We can digest it and think about it as we kind of work towards the release as well.
Yeah.
Next question, will I be able to access the new features like the drone in my dashboard, or is that only for Pro users? And so the drone kind of video, which seems to be like a really hot topic today, which I'm very excited about, comes as a part of that new capture process, right? So in order to generate that, we're generating a Gaussian splat, which is essentially a full 3D render of the entire space based on multiple height captures and kind of really heavily dense data. So if this question comes from an existing customer, which I assume it does, then you will need the Pro camera in order to generate the Gaussian splat and therefore kind of the drone data. And it does come, as we mentioned, with that kind of longer and a slightly more complex capture process. But again, if that's something that you are super interested in, just be 100% sure to reach out to our customer success team. We're more than happy to have a discussion in a little bit more detail with you as a customer around what it looks like, the capture process and kind of timeframes around that as well. Okay. We often need to crop the images in the current 4,500 pixels as we deliver at 4K pixels on the long side, and it gives us little space to crop. This is a great piece of feedback for us. We do have a crop tool available inside the dashboard, which allows you to kind of control the size of the images. Again, assuming this comes from an existing customer, just feel free to get in touch with us through the normal channels, and we'll be more than happy to show you a little bit more about how that works. But thanks for bringing that up. Next, will there be branding for listing websites and things like custom domains? So Mikus, I will hand over to you for that question.
Yeah, you can add the information, the agency information, the contact information, and add the branding references. Yes, that functionality I think is already in the V1. Samy, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So when I showed that little demo of the property website earlier, you could see my shiny bald head in the bottom left-hand corner. That segment's fully customizable with the agent information, telephone number, and of course the ability to post the logo there. Mm-hmm. Brilliant. Next two questions. Where can I get the test offer from, and how do we get the special offer?
I think the link goes out from the email. Will be sent from our team, and just follow the tasks. Fill out the form. Add your delivery address. Add your credit card, and then once process the action, and then once the cameras are released, so everybody who now signs up on the I wouldn't want to call it a pre-sales. The kind of we want to it's a more a test, as our goal is not really just to try to sell these cameras, but get them in front of the curious users, and then you will be among the first ones that will receive them, and the delivery dates, we're going to keep you posted. As soon as the delivery date is out, you will know it first.
Brilliant. Next up, in terms of maintenance, what does the pipeline look like if I say the tripod or camera needs repairing? So the beauty of the lease model with Giraffe360 is that we're covering the hardware, right? So if there's any issues from a manufacturer perspective, we always ensure that we have stock. We ship new cameras to customers to minimize the disruption to workflow, take those cameras back, those tripods, and we do the necessary repair work. So that's the beauty of the lease model.
And from the live actions, we see that repair typically is done within what, 48, 72-hour window.
Yeah, we don't wait for the repair in order to get the camera out to the customer, right? We ship the new camera, and yeah, so we kind of maintain the minimal disruption to the client's workflow.
Yeah.
As opposed to waiting for that to come back to us. Next up, can I, as an existing customer, get the special offer? Which I think is a fantastic question. As we mentioned earlier, there is no price difference between the two models. So for any existing customers interested, just get straight in touch with us directly via the CSM team, and we're more than happy to discuss what it looks like from a pricing perspective and kind of, get you involved in that queue for the new hardware. Will there be an option to add media to the listing website, such as drone shots for houses? And Mikus, I think I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, in the future, yes. The V1 doesn't renders data on our information. So today, all the listing spotlight data is created. All the content is created from Giraffe data. But in one of the future updates, we will allow other data to be placed in. Yes, and for just practical reasons, we try to do as much as on our data as possible, because that's how we can move faster. As always, integrating third-party data requires more dependencies, but I think something Giraffe doesn't do is drone shot image, and we wanna allow users to bring that in, as we think that's obviously important.
Cool. Last two questions. So, can projects from the current camera be merged with projects from the Pro camera? Yanis, I could let you take this one, but I think the answer is relatively clear in that the two data sets are so distinct and designed to capture different kind of output sets. So if customers are wanting to get a property they've already captured in the past, and with some of the new content sets, that will mean a full recapture with the new hardware. But correct me if I'm wrong there, Yanis.
No, you're exactly correct. I mean, obviously, we're talking about kind of early launch phase. We'll see where this Pro camera takes us in the future. As said, for the GoCam, the same applies for the Pro camera when it comes to kind of monthly updates, and we'll see. Technically, at the moment, it's just simply not possible due to compatibility issues. But yeah, that's what it is at the moment.
Actually, that's an interesting point, Giannis, that you brought up there. Maybe you can double click on it. Is because we release a hardware, and hardware has its limitations, and we don't upgrade hardware every 3 months or every year. It's been almost 2 years since we released the base, and now we're releasing Pro. But the software updates are continuous, and our hardware historically has always been it's more capable than what actually software does today. So there's the consistent progression with the software updates, and maybe you can share some light on how consistently we roll out software updates for the camera that comes with those next iterations, like how it's been for the Go camera, and do you have a prediction on the Pro camera updates?
Well, that's a lot to actually touch here, but maybe I'll try to keep it short. In general, we're quite ambitious to keep the steady stream of software updates. For the Go camera, it's still going to be supported. Software-wise, we're still planning to launch regular monthly updates that are mostly around the performance boosts. When it comes to the Pro camera, the same applies. We have in the pipeline, like for example, this is a ScamU V1 as an example. So it does a hint you already that we have in mind future kind of iterations and generations that we are planning to launch in the long run, that we are currently working on. So that is part of the setup, right? That the promise software-wise that once we have it, it's going to regularly come out to increase or boost the performance even further and improve this capture experience further, basically.
Nice.
Thank you, Yanis. And we are on our final question, and Mikus, you kind of committed that we would answer every single question. So I'm going to just take this one as a compliment, I guess, but it says, so y'all just decided to wake up cute today. So I think that's a good place for us to to end our Q&A for this afternoon.
Somebody's being very nice. Great. Thanks, Yanis. Thanks, Samy, for today, for coming and delivering the insights. Thanks for everyone who joined. We're gonna send if you have any further questions, all the channels, find a way, email, social. We're gonna answer them, and we're gonna have the next webinar probably close around the release date. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, appreciate you all joining. Thank you. Ciao.